Welcome to the very first episode of Authentic Growth with Anita Annan. I am so excited to begin this journey with you. Today we are talking about something foundational, reclaiming yourself, the path to authentic living. In a world filled with expectations, comparisons, and noise, it's easy to lose sight of who we truly are. But self-discovery isn't about arriving at a fixed identity. It's about continuously evolving, peeling back the layers and embracing your truth. In this episode, we'll explore the choices, beliefs, and patterns that shape us, and most importantly, how we can take intentional steps towards living as our most authentic selves. So let's dive in. Life is fascinating. Through the right lens, its unpredictability feels less like a burden and more like a journey. One that demands balance, resilience, and perspective. Some say life is unfair, and at times it certainly appears that way. Some are born into privilege, others into struggle. Some have wealth but lack health, while others with almost nothing move through life with strength and vitality. Yet in its own way, life compensates everyone. How a kind-hearted person ends up with an abusive partner remains a mystery. And yet society's so-called misfits sometimes find themselves paired with those deemed virtuous and admirable. Life unfolds in ways that defy logic. Sometimes rewarding effort, other times disregarding it entirely. But beneath the chaos, one truth remains. Life often reflects the choices we make, the beliefs we hold, and the actions we take. We can either drift, reacting to circumstances, or move with intention, shaping our own path. Some people crumble under difficulty, while others transform their pain into wisdom. Some grow bitter, others grow better. The difference? How we process what life presents. We either live at life's mercy or we step forward with purpose, learning, adjusting, becoming. Reclaiming yourself isn't a destination. It's a continual unfolding. And the deeper you go, the more life begins to make sense. Not because it changes, but because you do. So who are you? Where have you been? What have you come through? Every choice carries weight. Some are intentional, others driven by clarity and purpose. Others are made on autopilot, shaped by habits, fear, or comfort. But whether conscious or not, every decision is either moving you forward or keeping you stuck. So what will it be? Will you choose in alignment with the future you long for, or will you default to the familiar, even when it no longer serves you? What you focus on grows. Fixate on obstacles and they expand. Focus on possibilities and new paths emerge. Focus isn't just about what your eyes see. It's about where your mind stays. The question is, are you focusing on what builds you or what drains you? And then there is assumption. We assume life will always be as it is until it isn't. We assume people see us a certain way, so we adjust ourselves accordingly. But what if the limits you believe in exist only in your mind? What about entitlement? Some believe life owes them success, recognition, love. But entitlement breeds frustration because the world doesn't operate on personal expectations. Nothing is owed, but everything is available to those who align their efforts with their desires. And then there is fear, the silent driver of many choices. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, or the unknown makes us shrink, convincing us that staying put is safer than growing. But safety is not the same as fulfillment. The longer fear drives, the further we drift from ourselves. Before you assess where your choices have led you, ask yourself, what's been guiding me? Clarity or conditioning? Growth or comfort? Strength or self-doubt? Because once you understand why you've been choosing the way you have, you gain the power to choose differently. There is also self-love. The choices we make reveal its presence or its absence. Do you choose what nourishes you, or do you settle for what depletes you? Do you set boundaries, or do you allow yourself to be stretched beyond your limits? Do you honor your needs, or do you silence them to keep the peace? Self-love isn't a feeling, it's a practice. And every choice you make is a reflection of how deeply you believe in your own worth. Even today, many still hold the mistaken belief that self-love is selfish. But nothing could be further from the truth. Self-love isn't arrogance or self-absorption. It's the synthesis of self-acceptance and self-care. It nurtures self-worth, preserves sanity, and allows you to move through life with strength and clarity. Self-acceptance means embracing all of you, your physical attributes, experiences, strengths, weaknesses, everything that makes you who you are. Without it, growth is impossible. You cannot become the best version of yourself or even a better version without first acknowledging where you stand. Take weight loss, for example. Before you can shed excess weight, you must first accept the reality of where you are. Denial keeps you stagnant. Acceptance propels you forward. Self-acceptance brings out your authentic self, while self-care sustains you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually on the journey ahead. But self-care is often misunderstood, reduced to vacation, spa days, and indulgences. While those have their place, self-care runs deeper. It is the daily practice of honoring your well-being. I once met a woman who always seemed exhausted, physically, mentally, emotionally. She gave endlessly to others, always available, always putting herself last. One day, she admitted something that struck me. I feel like I'm running on fumes, but I don't know how to stop. If I pause, everything will fall apart, she said. That's the lie we tell ourselves. That if we rest, if we choose ourselves, even for a moment, something will crumble. But the truth is, we crumble when we don't. Physically, self-care is nourishing your body with the right food, movement, and rest.